So I always had a desire to turn this multimeter of mine to be compatible with USB Type-C. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna convert this guy into a USB Type-C, and after then we'll see how it works. So I do have like a boost converter here, a battery, and some other goodies next to my desk. So without wasting any time, let's open this guy up. Since we are an opening channel, we open stuff. So I'm really curious into opening this guy up. So this is what the inside of a multimeter looks like for those people who are very curious. I see we have a ton of space that we can occupy here. So here's the plan. I have to give you guys a plan. So this multimeter works on a 9-volt battery. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna recreate that 9-volt using a boost converter. This is primarily for charging, and this is we know our battery produces like 3.7 volts. Our lithium-ion batteries, they're usually 3.7 volts. So this pump boosts that 3.7 volts to 9 volts and gives this guy 9 volt. So we can actually charge using a Type-C, and this guy is capable of it was rated when I was buying it on the component store. They said it shouldn't go over 3 amps. So to me, that's some fast charging. I mean, 5 volts at 3 amps, we're looking at 15 watts. That's decent if you ask me. So before we do that, for those guys who are curious how a multimeter works or how it looks like in the inside, I see there's a pretty thick bus here, so it looks like it's for more current handling. Alright, so for us to actually remove this cable, which is like the power supply for this guy, we have to actually lift out the board, so which means more opportunity to see what was underneath. So yeah, I can do that. I'm just gonna screw a few things right here, and I should be back with you guys in a minute. For those curious or what it looks like on the multimeter, so this is basically it. So I can see that is where our connections are. So that's where our output of our boost converter is gonna go to, because this is 9 volts. And before the boost converter, that's where we're gonna put this guy in. But so this is what it looks like for those guys who are curious on how this multimeter works. Also, this is a buzzer, not a speaker, so my bad for that. And yeah, it's really interesting, like, all this magic, and these are the contact points. So when you select current, you're basically on a certain contact point, which is nice. I'm just gonna desolder this part right quick, then I'll be with you guys. So we managed to remove those 2 cables. So I just have to mark which is plus and which is minus. So now we can remove this guy. So this is basically the whole multimeter PCB. So we're gonna put this guy aside. I just need to do something real quick. I'm busy trying to do some fitment to see if I can put this guy in there. The reason why I got this one with the display on it, because they didn't have stock of the small one, so we just have to do with what we have. So I'm planning on this area, but I can see there's already components on there. So what I'm gonna try to do now is remove these 2, because eventually I'm gonna solder on there. So if I remove these 2, but before I do that, let me configure the output to be 9 volt. then we can remove that, and if that is in the way, we can also remove this guy. So let me see if I can connect a power source and configure this guy to 12 volts. So I was busy doing some work and I managed to come up with something that can work with this setup. So the USB-C module, I managed to use some glue gun to like bond it together with this guy, the DC to DC converter, the boost converter. Let me just say the boost converter. So I managed to do that, managed to solder a few cables here. So I also managed to solder the cables on the board itself, and we can even test it out if I can quickly do that. So I'm just gonna put the type C on here. So it does register some voltage. It does register. Let me do this. I know it's flickering on your side, but at the moment it's 0. Then you should see what happens when I connect a battery on it. So if I do this is minus. You see now it's reading, I don't know if you guys can see, 9 volts. So it will work with our setup. So I'm just gonna try to put everything together in this setup, and so that nothing shorts itself in there. Now I'm just gonna cut out a spot here for the type C, so that it doesn't like so that it's like sort of flush with the board, you know. So I'm just gonna quickly do that, then I'll be back with you guys. So this is where we are. This is the USB type C. You can see it's a bit up. I couldn't push it down because there's this like potentiometer right here next to it, which was conflicting. I couldn't push it this side because there was also that display. I think I should have just removed that display, but hey ho. So this is what we have. We still have the original multimeter experience. So the plan is, when you plug it in like that, then it charges, then you can also use it while it's on the charger. Hopefully this battery is not dead. This battery, if some of you were following on this channel, this battery comes from that wireless soldering iron. So I did buy these new ones. I do have new ones, but you see the size difference. They are a bit, these new ones are a bit too big to fit into this casing, so I might as well just reuse this guy because it was just laying around. So I'm just gonna quickly mount this guy up, plug it in and test it, and hopefully I'll be back with you guys. So I'm closing this stuff up. You can see I made a temporary opening right there. You'll see the lining up is not that perfect, but it should do the work. So I managed to solder that one out. So the battery is in, and hopefully it works. Hopefully. So that's the type C. It's not the best in the world, but it does the job. So now we're left with I didn't want to make a hole on this guy, so I think we'll test it without this guy, without this protective covering, because otherwise if I do put the protective covering, this type C, the exposed part won't have enough travel to actually charge the device. So let's see how it goes. So the charging port is this side. Let's see, nothing blows, hopefully. There it goes, there it goes. There it works. So since it works, one of the things I didn't tell you guys, I had to remove the buzzer because there wasn't enough space in there. So because now we don't have the buzzer, we can't hear it, the multimeter beeping, so I can't measure that. But what I can measure is I can put some probes in it, get the batteries that I ordered from the electronic component store and see if it actually reads anything. There. And if we so it actually works. So let me see if I can, I'm sure the battery is low, because if I remove this, oh, it's, you see, it keeps on working nicely. So I got my batteries here and I just made a hole so that this thing can be in contact with the battery. So I'm just gonna put it in here, so we should see a voltage. There we go, there we go. There is the voltage, there we go. So it's like 2.3 volts max. So yeah, guys, we managed to get this thing going. Right now I'm just gonna put it on the charger and see how it goes, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. So this series we're gonna be upgrading a lot of stuff. I mean, one of them is like the soldering iron, the wireless soldering iron. We're gonna be upgrading that. And for the viewers who watched, I don't know if you guys still remember this guy, the wireless desk lamp. What I'm gonna do on that one, I'm just gonna also upgrade it so that it can last a bit longer. It does last for like a week. So this series of making stuff better, this is the first episode, so we're gonna be going this for a very long time. So I can even plug it out. Here's the Type-C. It's plugged out, but it still works. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.